How much?
Gag on this podcast. Hello, everybody. I don't know if I've got a chance to meet everybody. I don't really. Let's see who's here. Gag on this. Okay, wait. Rob.
Hello.
Hello, Rob. Hi, Sharon.
Sharon. Yep, that's me.
Sharon. Hi, Sharon. Anthony and Danielle. Hey, what's up, Danielle? I met you.
Hey.
I met you before.
Yep.
Yeah, we met. Wait. Where did we meet at?
We've been at Punchline. Punchline
no.
Laughs.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought I'd seen you in Chico before at
Maybe. I mean,
Okay.
Moonlight Bunny Ranch.
shut the fuck up.
Oh no. All right.
I like how Anthony's like, where did we meet before? And Danielle just lists like all these things. Like, we've met numerous times.
I'm
It doesn't
sorry.
Anthony's like,
It's totally cool.
No, I'm the worst. You know how it is in comedy. You meet 770,000 comics in 1 year, and then
Right.
you get to see 15 of them once a year, every now and
Right.
you know, you get to just see them. But yeah, well, good to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Thanks for coming on, and thank you. This is the Gag on This podcast. Episode description will have the show and guest social media. Go to our website, gagonthispodcast.com. Email us, gagonthispodcast@gmail.com. Like and follow our Facebook page. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch the recording and hear the episode 2 days before it is released. I am the one they call Big Nick. I am joined by Rob Grizzly Adams over there.
Hello.
Joined by the Italian stallion who is wearing her top this time, Danny D.
Hey.
Sacramento Port Laureate Sharon.
What's up?
And we are joined by the hilarious Anthony K.
Woo!
Now, how do you pronounce your last name? Because I'm going back and forth between Krayenhagen and Krayenhagen,
Yeah, it's Krayenhagen, from what I understand.
from what you understand.
That's about the furthest. That's about the most I know about my family lineage.
What is Krayenhagen? Is that like...
It's German.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It's actually from my grandmother. Yeah, my grandmother's side. Grandmother's side. Yeah, and like all the women in my family, they weren't married, so we carry the women's last name.
Oh.
All right.
Oh, okay. It all just got knocked up, never got married.
Well, got married, but I think when I look at the line of men from the Krayenhagens, bunch of pussies.
Yeah.
So they ran off. They divorced, or they started new families, or it's straight pussies.
Yeah.
I only say that because I see the hurt in my mom's eyes when I was young.
Oh.
Gallo, that divorce look. He's like,
All right. I do want to kick it off with now. On Facebook, it says you're from Ceres, right?
Yeah. Yep.
And that's basically Modesto, right?
More Mexican than me. I call it series.
it's
But
series,
no,
man.
you're right. The Mexican people give me shit for it here. They go, "Oh, he says series like a white guy. It's fucking Ceres." I'm like, "Oh, shut up, Spanish European. Stop trying to fucking correct me."
So
Ceres.
now that's basically like Modesto, right?
It is Modesto.
Oh
It's
yeah,
almost next
yeah.
to it.
It's series is like how the population of series is like shit. It's got to be under 50,000 or 40,000. So you can ride your bike to Modesto. It's right there.
Not
Well, you
Why
wouldn't
would
want to
you?
because I think you're on dope, but yeah.
you won't do it.
Yeah, I did. I chaired an AA meeting in Ceres actually, and
Yeah.
it's pretty run down. No offense.
You know what? It's I guess you really shape your own reality, because when I hear that, or when I see we come up on these lists all the time, like Modesto be number one as far as California worst city and you're like, the worst. I guess I don't. But then again, I live like to my friends and my family growing up, to the way I grew up in the suburb I grew up in, is like, oh my God, you guys, you're rich. You have, oh my God, you're rich. But behind my house, I watched a man be killed in front of me. In front of me, I watched a person at a house party be shot dead. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess.
I mean,
I
it's
guess
good to have
I guess
different
the food doesn't
spectrums,
really mean
yeah.
anything, does it? I thought we were out of all this.
It's like Stockton sometimes. You got one good spot, and then the other spot's a dump, and you're just like, oh, we're across the street. Hey.
I think every
Yeah,
city is
you're
like that.
Yeah, because what people forget is that just because it's a suburb doesn't mean it's nice. It could just be a front for people doing a lot of illegal shit.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Plus, the suburbs is where you get that good drug, man.
You know what I mean? They got all the best out here. That's why people label it that way out here. Like all the meth, all the heroin. And that's what it is.
Sounds like a party town to me.
It's a party town. Well, the biggest company out here is Gallo, E&J Gallo, the winery company.
Yeah.
They're the largest winery not only in California but the entire world.
Oh.
There's there's barely a close second. They're the biggest manufacturers of wine in the world. So yeah, we party over here.
Now, Gallo, that's the one that comes in like the glass jug, right?
Jug wine.
That shit's nasty. I used to steal it from my grandma, like when I was younger, and I'd be like, fuck it, I'm gonna get drunk. That shit's so gross.
Yeah, like Carlo Rossi, you mean?
Yeah, and like E&J brandy, like that shit's gross. Oh,
E&J brandy,
yeah.
Brandy.
It's fucking what's the other one? Oh, Thunderbird. You ever had Thunderbird before?
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lowest I went was Mad Dog.
Oh, yeah. Everyone loves Mad Dog.
Yeah, that one. That's equivalent to Thunderbird. That's a dope fiend alcohol.
Ripple.
It's like Four Loko. Four Loko is fucking gross.
I've shotgunned a couple of those in my days.
Yeah, me too.
Fireball.
Yeah,
So
Anti-fireball no more.
Fireball's
Oh.
gross.
No.
It's like all these apple cider shit. It's like, why don't you just be an adult, and if you want to drink something with apple in it, take a shot and then have a apple fucking chaser or something.
You know, some of us aren't alcoholics and we like to drink for the taste, and we can stop at a reasonable time, Nick.
Well, I am an alcoholic, so.
He put his hand up. I went to the meetings.
Nick used to drink rubbing alcohol to get drunk.
No.
How'd that go?
I did drink mouthwash, yes.
Oh, mouthwash.
Whoa, okay.
What's kind? Scope or Listerine?
Never heard. I mean, I've heard of it, but I don't know anybody that's done that.
Well, you just met one now, yeah.
Well, how about this? I'll do you one better. I also drank vanilla extract.
That's delicious.
Wow.
Vanilla extract has 90% alcohol, and you can buy it. You don't have to go to a liquor store. It's in the baking aisle. Just grab it and chug it.
I hope children don't listen to this.
There's always something to be said about addicts, man, because they really do find a way.
They're very creative.
Like the fact you tell I don't want to say normal, you're normal, but I just mean like you tell a kid like, yeah, I used to fucking slam vanilla extract. They'll be like, what? Why would you do that? Why would you slam vanilla extract? That sounds delicious. Like in cups of vanilla?
Right?
No, not like that. I'm sick.
So you started comedy in 2009. What was the scene like where you were living at?
The same as it is now. It's rough. It's bars and it's a lot of bars, you know. It's a lot of like disinterested people, like most places. But I think here, I mean, I'll just give my own experience because there's people who are doing comedy before me that were out here, obviously, and so they tell me even crazier stories. But I will say our bar scene is like you got to at least be ready to fight. My first time I did comedy, a drunk lady tried to sucker punch my mom after the show. Yeah, and we had to beat her up. Stop doing that.
I like how you're like, yeah, and we had to beat her up.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I've had this discussion. I don't know. I've tried to pontificate about it for a while. Like, is there a reason that you wouldn't? Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's animal instinct at that point. Somebody attacks your parents or like is trying to hurt you, especially when it was like unprovoked. It'd be different. My mom's like, "Swear up, bitch," and try to fight her. And like, all right, well, let my mom deal with it because she wants to fight her, I guess.
Yeah.
But this lady was drunk and she was a heckler and she just My mom's trying to be peacemaker in between everybody, and the lady just tried to punch my mom in front of all of us. So what I'm trying to get at here is that the scene over here is very rough.
Well, what's interesting is you did bring up the fact that there's a lot of disinterested people, and I've heard from people that have done bar shows that that's like one of the worst, because you got people just. I think Ben Rice was like, yeah, you got people that just want to unwind after a day of work, and then there's somebody doing fucking jokes.
Which is so much not the people's fault. That's the producer's fault. I mean, as well, because you can't just show up in the middle of a Sharks playoff game and go, guys, we do this every Monday. You're going to have to just figure it out. At some point, you have to be a human being and go, yeah, maybe comedy doesn't work today. Maybe stand up in this setting will stop, and I'll stop. But it takes time to figure that out.
Yeah, fucking Game 7 against the Las Vegas Knights. Yeah, I could see that being an issue.
Right? And you tell everybody, quiet down. We have jokes to work on.
Yeah. I got this new material. Listen to me.
Yeah. but the scene, yeah. I have a great observation about Nutella. You guys will never see it coming. What the fuck? Shut your mouth. But yeah, I mean, the scene is just really small. It's tiny. There's not a lot of us, but there's limited places to do it because, again, of the disinterest. There's just not as many.
Anthony, do you hang with Jimmy and them? I forgot his last name. He wears glasses. I know he does stuff with Modesto.
Yeah, Jimmy Menezes.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I hang out with them all the time, but I know Jimmy. We know each other. Yeah, he's
pretty good.
Now, was the scene so small? Is that why you guys created Deaf Puppies?
No, I mean, we're just kind of just a group of people that just hung out all the time together. So we just, you go to the open mics, the open mic list is just us. So that's who you're hanging around all the time. And then you go out of town, or you go, it's just kind of a cool group of friends. We all just kick it and party and drink and go on trips and go do comedy. Because again, when you're out here, you definitely need to have that carpool situation set up.
Yeah.
Because everywhere you go, the minimum is going to be an hour trip. So
now, would it be at a character to call it a comedy troupe?
No, it is. I mean, it's a group. It's a comedy collective.
There you go. I like that one better. A comedy collective.
The comedy collective. Yeah, it's a lot of like people who have a deep passion and understanding of stand-up, particularly, and just we exchange ideas, and I think we all definitely have different styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny,
so
you're like, yeah.
Well, I mean, I know a couple of members of that group, or what was that group, and I know that you guys are all different, and it's pretty funny that you guys can all get together and like it's nice to see that a group of different people who have different ideas can actually work together to better each other. Like most comics are like, oh, they don't agree with me, I'm not going to talk to them. So,
Yeah, I mean, if you're a comic and you think that way anyway, that's probably already a bad starting point for you to start comedy. You're kind of not open-minded to anything.
Oh, you're supposed to be open-minded when you're a comic? Fuck. I didn't know that. I had no idea. That's what I've been doing wrong. Damn it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this, part of doing research is I like stalk your Facebook, stalk your Instagram, things like that. Yeah. And you are a fucking hard ass worker. Like every 3 or 4 days you had a show.
Yeah. Oh, well, not even just 3 or 4 days. I mean, those are just the ones I would post. Because, if you're going to, if sometimes you're getting paid for a show, but that you're not there to execute the same way, so you may not post it the same way. You may not have a show you want 50 people to show up to and pay money to get into, where that the show and you are working on shit, so you're not necessarily gonna. So you're right. Yeah, I mean, I appreciate that, because a lot of people don't recognize how much we do as comics, and they think that all we do is fuck around. And you guys know what's up. We're out there all the time, but they don't call that work. So I appreciate it. But yeah, I tried to set a goal for years for 5 days a week, and then it started turning into 7, and Then you got to bring it back down. 'Cause once you get down to like 3 to 5, it keeps you sane. You can't go too high. I feel like if you do it every day, you get a little jaded, or you gotta stop.
Now, how long into comedy were you when you did? Fuck, I should have wrote this down. You did like an actual big ass theater, like you headlined a theater, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long into comedy were you for that?
That one, 6 years. Into the one that you're referring to at the Gallo Center.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah. So, that one. But honestly, in the first year, we had this place out in Modesto called the Fat Cat Music House and Lounge, and it sat. Fuck, I want to say 250 or 3, and that was like the first time in the first year we did a sold out show there.
Huh?
And it's not a theater, it's like a bar that's 2-tiered, but it felt, because of the 2-tier, I just remember feeling that feeling like really like, holy shit, I never experienced that many people. But yeah, that was about 6 years before I performed on my own in front of a big crowd, like doing 45 minutes. I was like, wow. Yeah, I was at 6 years in.
Now, how was that? Because I saw all the publicity around it, like you were featured in, I think it was the newspaper.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was nice. The town definitely showed a lot of support and fucking came out, and they, and we're supposed to actually do it again before this COVID thing. I was going to film a new one there again at the same place, November 14th. But obviously with this going on, we're not going to, wait till the time's right.
Yeah.
But but it was a good experience. You get theater experience, and to me, it's just nicer setting. People tend to listen more in a theater.
Well, because they're there to watch you do comedy.
Well,
you know what I mean? And they bought tickets.
Yeah, they're there to watch you in a comedy club, but for some reason in a comedy club, they still listen. But I just mean that like I feel like there's just more of a chance of heckling. Whereas like in a theater, for some reason, they feel like being in a movie theater. You're in a movie theater and all the lights go down, you just instinctively stop talking because you just know like, oh, we're supposed to be.
Well, not everyone does, but yes.
I know. Well, generally, self-aware people.
Yeah.
Well, we got to yell and alert everyone and say, hey, there's a killer coming. Watch out.
No.
No, the best are when you get.
You know what? Art does invoke emotion sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
The best was I was watching House of a Thousand Corpses, and I was in the back just hammered. And I'll never forget this one guy in the front. Just every time some scary came on, he'd just be like, "Oh shit!" So picture every 15 minutes, he'd be like, "Oh goddamn! Oh shit! Look at that!" Oh, he was way funnier than anything I've ever seen.
Extra flavor.
Hey, that's one of my favorite movies, House of a Thousand Corpses. Great
Is
film.
it? I think it's underrated, man. So many people haven't seen it.
Devil's Rejects could be one of the best sequels to a horror movie I've seen in a year. I watch a lot of horror films. Devil's Rejects could have been one of the best sequels where you were like, this is for sure going to suck. And no, it delivered. It was great. I like Rob Zombie as the third one, though. and I even went and bought a ticket for that one. I went to the theaters and I mean, I went to the theaters, but like, I knew that was going to be bad. And I was like, the first two were so good. This motherfucker deserves my money. I don't care. I don't care if 3 from Hell stinks. I'm going to go fucking support this guy. I love him.
Well, 3 from Hell had the one chick that does like a bunch of cartoon voices in it, right? That was 3 from Hell?
Yeah. Is that the main girl that they bring? Or no, wait. Is that the girl that they meet at the hotel? I don't remember. I was high when I watched it.
Yeah.
Hey, for the rest of the panel, have you guys seen House of a Thousand Corpses?
Yes.
I don't watch scary movies.
With a young chubby, what's his name? Oh fuck! I forget his name. He got canceled from it. He At Midnight. Who's the At Midnight guy?
Are you talking about Chris Hardwick?
Yeah, he was a chubby Chris Hardwick. Is in House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Chris
Hardwick? Yeah, he was At Midnight guy. He's a stand-up. But he did.
He does Nerdist.
Got Me Too'd and lost his show.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also had like a.
I'm looking him up.
He did Boatmates too.
Oh, this guy did comedy?
Yeah, he still does.
He had something before that too, though. He had something back in the day, like a show on.
It was Singled Out, right? Wasn't it
Yeah.
Singled Out?
And
Yes.
Boatmates.
Yeah.
He got singled out.
With Jenny McCarthy, yeah.
That's incredible.
He actually
Isn't
now
it
has
great when you go back on someone's go back on their thing? You're like, fuck, I forgot. You forget how much these motherfuckers have been in the industry. You're like, oh, they were in there for 28 years before it popped.
Oh, he's still in
His
the
dad was a
industry.
professional bowler.
Yep. He's still in the industry. He's right now doing an ABC show. Yeah.
Wait.
He was
His dad
also
was.
on Boy Meets World from 1993 to 2000.
We all just looked at Topanga. Who gives a shit who else started it?
Yeah, I didn't know.
It's a horrible name.
Oh,
Panga?
Topanga? Who the fuck names their kid that?
you could name her Feces, and I would still have a crush.
Yeah.
on her.
You like broken girls, though.
She was
I mean,
broken.
well, yeah, and she's actually not that broken, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, she's gorgeous. Mm.
Yeah, you would make an exception for her. She's pretty normal, though.
That and Winnie. Winnie Cooper.
Oh yeah, Winnie Cooper. Yeah.
Winnie
Yeah.
Cooper.
I like Fred
You know who I
Savage.
just saw that's like that from me is Olivia Munn. I was watching her
Oh,
in
yes.
a movie. Yeah,
Oh,
because I
yeah.
remember her from Tech TV back in the day. She was
Yeah,
she
she's
was the
hot.
host of that video game show. I remember she used to do reviews on with Adam Sessler.
Oh,
No shit.
Yeah, she used to review video games. That's where I first saw her. It was still Tech TV. It wasn't even G4 TV, which I don't even think G4 TV exists anymore.
Nope.
Man. Good
Showing
old
my
days. How old are you? You don't mind me
32.
asking. So you started comedy 11 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
I was 21.
We're
So
so
the bars.
young.
I could get into the bars finally.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that doing comedy was a real that never comedy for sure, like fan and loved it. Didn't understand it from a technical aspect at all. Probably still don't. And I just went into a bar and saw it. I was like, oh shit, they're doing it in Modesto? All right, cool.
That's dope.
But yeah, it's 2009. Yeah, 21. Craziness.
Just a baby.
Anthony, have you been nominated for the MoMA anytime?
Yeah, the Mom Awards. Yeah,
Yeah.
2009. Wait, it was 2000. Wait, not 2009. When was the 2010, 2011? Do you remember that the Mom? I mean, you know the Mom Awards, but the one that I don't remember. Yeah. Were you there for that when I gave that? And I was all drunk, and they called me and told me I won, and I fucking showed up, and I and I told everybody in the crowd, was like 800 people there. I told everybody in the crowd, you guys don't even give a fuck about stand up. I don't see none of you guys at the shows. Nobody fuck you guys. Fuck this award.
Hey, that's
Ooh,
the
that
truth,
hurts.
man. That's
That
fucking
hurts.
truth.
No,
Yeah.
we were the least on the totem pole. And I think it was like 2011, maybe 2000. I do feel like it was like 12 or 13. Or was it 12?
Because I remember
Damn.
hearing about
Yeah.
it, but I didn't go that.
My friend Marina, by the way, she's all right.
Hi, Marina.
She's your fact checker. Cool.
Yeah, like it was just
Because
funny.
That was the year didn't they miss it because you guys were at Speakeasy?
No, that was the other Mama Award. That was when Chris won. When we went to Speakeasy and took a bunch of shots. We took 12 shots.
Chris Tinkle?
No, Chris Teixeira.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, my bad. But yes, I did. Yeah, I want the mom back in there. Certain things like that shit triggers wild memories for me. So I'm like, and I look back on the video, I'm like, wow, you're an ungrateful cunt.
Oh, there's video evidence of this?
Yes, somewhere. I mean, I haven't watched it, but this was years ago. I'm sure it's somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was like, fuck you guys. and the guy who hosted it came up after me and he was like, well, fuck you too.
Gotta get back a reference. Yeah.
Yeah, he was all mad. He was like, Jesus, we told this guy he was great. Now he fucking they didn't, but I was still in my early 20s. I hadn't gone to therapy and found out that I use
Right.
humor and I have to deflect compliments because I don't know how to take them.
Oh, that hit home so much more than you would know.
Yeah, it took time. I didn't know. Not supposed to go to therapy. That's only for the mentally handicapped and gay, according to my family growing up.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
You're
Oh,
weak
that
if
got-
you talk
my
about your
bad, that got-
problems, right?
That got a little too much at the
No,
Right.
it's true. So true. So what are you gay? Like, oh, is that problem?
Talk about your feelings. Men aren't supposed to have feelings. Fuck.
Yeah, right? No, men are made of rocks.
I hate an emotional man. God damn it. Fuck.
Yeah, never. We never cry. No guy's ever cried in life.
No. Well, they have, but they shouldn't. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, you cried, but that's not good. That's a sign of weakness.
Goodness.
Fucking cry every day. Fuck it.
Rob, do you cry?
Yes, he
When
does.
the time's right.
When the
Or at
time's
the end
right.
of Coco.
He does really cry for Coco.
Yeah, before you hopped on, we were talking about Moana and Coco. Do you agree that Coco is sad as fuck?
I don't know. I never watched Coco.
Yeah,
You need to watch Coco.
Or my dog Skip will have you crying like snot bubbles.
I don't
Like,
want to watch a movie about a dog. I
No,
don't
what's
want
wrong
to.
with
Marley.
Something made me cry recently. I watched something that made me tear up. There's a couple. There's some horrific ones I cried at, but then there was something recently. There's something recently that I cried at, and I was like, I shouldn't be crying about this, but it's happening. It has to happen. It's going down. I had a stoic face while I was crying.
Was it Avengers Endgame or something?
Oh, I
No.
sobbed.
I blubbered. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
What the fuck did we watch here? I feel it was with Chris. I watched
The
it.
end of Terminator 2?
It was rough. Uh-huh.
And the Terminator 2? Damn. When
You
he
know
went
who
through
was
Up
something like
as he's
this.
going down.
When the
Like going down.
Man, that's what I'm hoping. Every time I turn on the news in the morning, I'm hoping I keep hoping the Statue of Liberty's like that, going down into the ocean.
Going into the river. It's like,
Hey, it was a good try.
You need to tear this down.
Hell, we're taking down everything else. I mean, that's
what
it's
I'm
bound to
saying.
go. Yeah.
And we get the
It's gonna
Statue
look
of
like
Liberty
the end
down,
of
that bitch hasn't
Planet of
done
the
shit
Apes.
for us. And here,
Oh.
She's not even American.
that bitch is French. And she's
Yeah, not even from America, man.
Yeah, same
Really?
here, Florida.
You're really gonna bring that out?
Yes.
He ain't even American. Bought her.
Whatever.
At least
She
you
was a
put her in
gift.
the water.
Yeah.
She was
And-
a guest.
And Sharon,
was.
we didn't buy her. She was given to us.
As
Yes,
a
she
gift.
was.
Also, what did we do before the statues? Were we all just psychos and nobody knew about liberty? And then they were like, guys, she knows what's up, dude.
She does.
Yeah.
She looks like it for sure.
Yeah, she seems free.
How the fuck did they, can you imagine the boat that brought that fucking bitch over here? Fucking huge.
Pieces.
Yeah, they
Oh,
assembled
okay.
it.
Like
It
Legos.
was like Legos. Yeah.
Okay.
You
All
thought
right.
they really bought that thing from just holding it up?
You know what? I'm not a history
Yeah,
buff. I don't know.
They transported it like a big screen.
Right? At least I knew it was a gift and she wasn't, bought. I knew that, Sharon. Fuck you. I know where
Hey,
she
listen,
is.
Hey. Hey, I'm with you, Danielle. I don't know how they
Right?
fucking ship it over here. Who cares? I don't check the fucking. I just know it's here, isolated on an island.
Literally.
Right?
Damn it, I really want to know what the fuck you cried at, because
Oh, me too.
it's gonna
No,
be
yeah,
something hilarious.
No, it is something hilarious. I can't. I'll remember and I'll text it to you.
Trolls 2.
Oh.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
It was okay. I'll say this. The last thing that so I watched this channel on YouTube. It's called Dead Bug. Have anybody ever heard of Dead Bug Says? Okay,
No.
so if you're into crime stories or serial killers, shit like that,
Oh.
it's fucking he finds stories from around the world, obviously the major ones, but he finds stories from around the world, just crazy. But there was this one where, oh man, I need to this is why I need to write this shit down. But there was a flood in some country, and they left a little girl, a small child that was trapped in the flood on I want to say it was a car, something like that, because the flood took everything down. So whatever, her leg was trapped inside something, and she was hanging on to a tree branch. to keep her head above water. And nobody was able to remove her. They were talking about maybe trying to amputate under the water to try to pull the kid. Didn't do it. The kid ended up giving a speech to the camera saying, like, I love my family. Lost the whole family already. Said, I love my family. This is a little kid. I'm talking maybe 8, 9. Looked at the television cameras in the cam and told them, hey, like, I love you guys. I love everybody. I love my family so much, and I can't wait to be with them. And that was it. And then the water, they just sat there and watched, and the fucking water just came and just took the kid.
Oh,
and I started.
My God.
I went into full. I was like, this is. I don't know if I would kill myself to save the kid. I guess that's the problem. That's the thing I was having. But I don't know if I would sit there and film it until the kid's death.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, people film a fucking anything nowadays. Like, you know, oh, here's a fight. Let's film it. It's like, what? Can we just like try to stop it? Like,
can we intervene? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
What was the old film, Faces of Death?
Hi, Owen.
Hi, Owen.
Fucking his.
Hi, Owen.
He can't hear you because his dad has the wireless in, but he's so cute.
Well, it's just funny because his dad walks away, and then all of a sudden Owen just comes in.
He's...
Sorry about that.
Oh, okay. I didn't want to cuss. Now I'm over here talking about kids being.
He can't hear anything. He can say whatever he wants.
Okay. You have headphones.
I thought you were gonna reenact what Anthony was talking about, like just put him in the water. Fucking...
Don't tempt me.
Oh, goddamn.
Oh man.
I remember those VHS tapes from Faces of Death.
I do remember those. I do remember those. Those are fucked up. All that shit. But now, and then the internet came around and was like, we'll give you the crack version of that. We'll give it to you every day with updates, baby. You don't even got to wait for the new volume. We'll give you new shit daily. I have to stay away from that stuff. That stuff. Horror movies generally are like that's like the big, but that stuff's hard to take in all the time. We were just talking about that today, about like that shit desensitizes you bad. It makes you not value human life if you keep watching that shit.
Makes sense.
Well, I also think it depends on the horror flick. Like if you're watching 1970s,
sorry, I meant like all the like snuff films on the internet. Like you know, when the cartel videos will come up, or like even when somebody gets shot and killed here. There were on Instagram. I'm scrolling through my Instagram, and somebody had posted a video of a guy who got killed in front of his daughter just like a week ago in Brooklyn, New York. There's CCTV footage of him holding his daughter's hand, and then he gets shot in the head, and the daughter just runs off. And
oh my God!
In the crosswalk, did you see that one?
Yeah, that was fucked.
That was right there, tear, right there. I can't. It's visceral what I feel towards that shit. That shit it's ugly. I think it's can't.
Do you have fuck trophies?
Huh?
Do you have fuck trophies?
Kids.
Do you have any children? I don't think he does.
Fuck trophies?
Fuck trophy? No, I don't have any children.
Yeah, that's the trophy you get for losing in life.
I got it now.
So,
It hurt.
For losing in life?
Wow.
The pull-out game is weak. Here's your trophy.
Yeah, just make him swallow. You'll be okay.
Jeez.
I mean,
Goddamn. The worst part
I
about
was
I
just
have
wondering, 'cause
kids.
it seems like kids make you, they get to you. So I was just curious if you had them, because I was a heartless prick.
Trophies.
And then I got a kid, and obviously I'm a sappy guy now.
oh yeah, you sound real sappy there with your fuck
Exactly.
trophy.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been very like anti-kid. My other wife don't have any, and like I've come from a young parent. My mom is super young, so there's always instilled like don't have kids, like blah blah blah. But yeah, I dated. My ex had a small child, and we were very close, and we still are on a talking basis because that connection isn't my that is not my blood, but being there for a kid, or like when a kid looks you in the eye and is like, I need you, you're like, ah, shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Fuck, I have to damn it. All right, I gotta be good. I'm a good person. But yeah, but I want to have kids.
Oh, that's good.
Or I would like to have fuck trophies, yeah.
Fuck trophies. Goddamn.
I mean, they are.
Crotch fruit, whatever.
Trophies that breathe.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't just put them on the shelf and walk away, or put them in storage and just be like, fuck it, I'll come back later and look at them.
Well, I mean, you can, but then the result is
They find you.
they find you,
Or
cut
they
your head
die.
off, and then they bury you, and then come after the rest of society that didn't do that to them.
True.
Not really a good trophy then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to cut to a trophy if you're like an illegitimate father or something, and then it goes fuck you. You're like,
Yeah.
It's like I made you, but fuck you. It's like
I made you. Fuck you.
I made you.
Yeah,
You're my
right.
seed, damn it.
Yeah. This is the only time I get to feel like God.
Right?
Yeah.
So I do want to talk about something I saw that I'm curious about how it was for you. You did the SF comedy competition, and you had to be, I think the semifinals lasted, what, 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
And then you ended up...
No. The semifinals lasted a week. Yeah, a week. No, it was a week. Yeah, it's 2 weeks for the preliminary weeks. It's 2 weeks, but you only perform one of the weeks, and then another semifinal week, and then a week for the finals. Still, it's a lot.
Now, what was that like?
It's strenuous. It's just like being on the road. It's just you have to drive. I mean, it's just not mapped out well. It's definitely, you'd be in Santa Cruz one night, and then the next night you'd be in fucking, some winery somewhere in fucking. It's a 4-hour trip. So you're like, all right, and you don't have rooms. There's no hotel room, so you got to figure that out by yourself until the finals. So it was good. It was a good experience though, because you get to experience a lot of different venues. Because you'll go one night, you'll be inside of a coffee shop. The next night, you're in front of 1,000.
Damn.
So your sets are going to reflect. You're going to see how it plays, especially like if you're in the coffee shop realm, and then you're like one of the nights we're in the bookstore in San Francisco. So as soon as you're in that, you're like, okay, I know this because I'm here a lot. But then when you're in Santa Rosa and you're in front of whatever that, I forget what that one was, but that's a whole different game. So I don't know. It was cool. I mean, I had a bad experience with the producer, and we're not really on talking terms. But to any other comics upcoming, I suggest you go do your thing.
How long after you started doing comedy did you start like entering in competitions? Like,
I think about a year or two. About a year
Really?
or two. I started going because that's how I got into Laughs Unlimited
Yeah.
in Sacramento. I did the host competition or whatever, and then the feature competition, and then
Okay.
and those were I was 3 or 4 years in before I started doing those ones. But yeah, probably 2 years. I just found anywhere they would take me. I'm one of those people. I just kind of wherever it was, I would go, and I still like that. I'll go wherever. If they appreciate my style stand up or they love stand up, then they're generally let's go. Come on, I don't care where it is or who it is. Let's go. But yeah, the competition was fun. It was. I had a good time.
Oh, I thought Danny was going to say something. She looked like she was about to be like,
No.
Oh, so I can't see, Danielle. You're on the other page.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I could show on your phone. No, it's all good. I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, I could scroll over to the left, and it populates whoever's speaking generally.
So I do want to talk about this because we've had this guest on here, and he actually liked and commented on the photo. Comedy cage match with Alex Elkin.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
Oh, that was in Tahoe. That was in Tahoe. That was sick. That was a 2-day. Imagine this. This is a 2-day bar show. It was a 2-day chaotic bar show where the crowd was coming in fucking wasted. I mean, they were coming to party, and it was just rapid fire. We just went up there and fucking everybody just did their sets, and the other experience, it's like any competition, it's all subjective. So it was, but I always have a good, and Alex is a good, have you guys had Alex on here, you said?
Yeah,
he used to fucking come into town, and I had an extra room. He'd stay at my house. He's fucking so fast, so quick. He's always just fucking on it. Like he's amazing.
But how is his comedy?
No, shut the fuck up. I was talking about his comedy. You're fucking fired. You're fucking fired.
You walked into that
Keep
one.
that up, Danny.
You know, I can hang out with some male comics and not fuck them. Some. Not all.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Was
Alex
Okay,
Elkin would be one of those.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I didn't fuck him. Just a friend.
Oh, wow. There's some inner.
They always give me.
This sounds like coworker talk.
No, they always give me a hard time because when I first started comedy, I slept with a couple of comics. My bad, I didn't know.
It happens. It's
whatever.
Look at you. They say don't fuck where you eat. I mean, don't
shit where you eat. Yeah.
Shit where you eat, but you don't fuck where you eat either. But
lesson learned.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah. It does. It does.
Here, wait a minute. Yeah. Hold on. Before we give Danielle shit, hold on. Are you guys all married? Are you guys girlfriends or?
Pretty much.
All married. All girlfriends. Yeah. All girlfriends.
Did you meet them all like at like in school?
No.
Where'd you meet them?
I met mine at a show.
At a bar? Oh, at a show? Oh, you met your wife at a show?
Well, girlfriend at a show, yeah.
Girlfriend showed up. Oh, okay.
Well, hold on.
I noticed a lot of people meet each other at their workplace.
Oh yeah, no.
That is my workplace. Yeah, poetry. I do poetry and DJ.
Yeah, Rob, where did you meet your wife? At a bar?
At a bar.
Just she was just standing there and you were like, what's up?
No, actually, I was 21 and I was out there with my buddies and we were at I think it was Katie Bloom's down in San Jose when San Jose Live was around, and we were going to leave, and then there was a fight which I was not part of, and then these girls got beer spilled on them, and my buddies started talking to her and her friend, and then they came with us to the Saddle Rack, and she was hitting on my friend, and one of my buddies hit on her.
Oh my God, that's a long story.
I know. On the drive home, she was in my lap, so then we started talking. We went out for 3 months and broke up and got married like 20 years later.
And now you're just happily ever after, aren't you?
Wrapping rainbows.
That's an incredible story. That's awesome.
You sound tinny. What happened?
Did my mic?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I don't know. Nothing changed.
Uh-oh. Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's probably my setup here. Hold on, let me see if
I can. Nick fucked up your audio because you were defending me. He was like, no, that's it.
Fuck,
I wish. People on here.
Hey, don't feel shame. Coming from a fellow hoe, I've been hoeing for years.
Right. It's hard when you're the only fucking single one on the podcast, motherfuckers.
Yeah. Wait,
Yes, we are motherfuckers.
Am I still tinny?
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit, not too bad.
Yeah. I was gonna hook up the mic, or I could reconnect if you guys want to. Whatever. I was gonna try to find my headset or something, so I could maybe if I plug that in.
Yeah, if you got a headset, plug that in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Give me. Hold on.
Yep. Want to do Deadpool while he's looking for that, Nick?
Boom.
All right. Yeah. So I don't know if you know this, Anthony, but we have a Deadpool going on, and we finally got someone on the Deadpool.
Was it me?
No.
God damn it.
It was Rob.
Was it Kelly Preston?
No, it was.
No one had her.
It was that Broadway actor that passed away. He had to get like his leg amputated. He was in the hospital for a couple months.
I feel bad about that one though. So 59 points.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Damn it. How is R. Kelly not dead yet?
Because
he's fucking R. Kelly.
I already told you why he's not dead yet. Who's gonna kill the man who basically got their women pregnant?
What about Corey Feldman?
Corey Feldman's not in jail.
He's like
nobody should be
He's gonna live forever.
That's what I'm saying.
I picked bad, man.
We all did. I mean, and the thing is, if we hadn't have done the amendment where we added people, Rob wouldn't have gotten them.
Yeah, it's because
Nice.
Rob
Congratulations, Rob.
researched. You researched sick people,
What
didn't you?
research? You kept popping up in the news.
Well, good job,
Oh.
Rob. I hope someone else dies before.
Jeez.
I mean, I do
Congratulations,
too.
Rob. You know,
The only
Yeah, Nick does too. 59 points. How old was he?
like
41?
41.
Yeah. See, look at my
Yeah.
math.
You know what we
Getting
should
better.
have done, and it was actually Danielle that brought this up when we talked about it. She was like, "Oh, so if they die of COVID-19, do you get 19 extra points?" I was like, "Son of a bitch, that would have been great."
Oh,
That would have been
That's-
great.
that would have been.
We didn't adjust for that.
Next time. Next time, because come January, if we're still around, we're gonna do another Deadpool.
Okay.
And I've already got hit up
It'll
by
still be there.
I got hit up by a ton of people that want to be on it, so that's gonna be an interesting
Okay.
episode.
I got a weird suspicion that you got us on the Deadpool somewhere. One of us died. It's like, that's on the extra paper. Didn't you see it? It's like, oh, snap.
Fuck, how about this? If one of us dies, they win the game. He fucking just got all the points in the world.
Right. I have a feeling though, like I would be the selected one. Like Danny's crazy. She'll die first. Like she'll go.
I
out
don't want you to
there.
go, but if you have to go with style.
I guess.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Does it sound better or no?
That sounds
Much
way
better,
better.
yeah.
You are
Way
in
better?
there. Yes.
Okay, I should have probably just started with this.
Congratulations, Rob.
So you won your you won your death pool. Who was it now?
No, it was the first one to score. So we
first one
still
to
have
score.
all year. But we've made it through the fucking pandemic for 7 months without anyone dying. And then finally Nick
Oh,
Cordero
yes.
passed away, which I feel bad about.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. You don't know him.
I do feel bad.
You don't fucking know him. What do you feel bad
I
for?
don't.
him for?
Because
He died.
like for all the shitheads on my list that should be gone, like Trump and McConnell and all that, this guy did nothing wrong. He's just
True.
a fucking actor that wants to do his thing, and COVID's fucked up.
Did he
So,
die of COVID?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh well. Okay.
Oh wow.
Oopsie daisies.
I'm waiting on my results currently.
Oh, you got tested?
Yeah, I got tested on Monday in the morning.
Oh, shit.
Is that as
So I'm waiting-
painful as they say?
No, I mean it's
Test.
definitely uncomfortable shit for
Got
sure.
it.
But I mean I clenched my hand. I would say it's a hand clencher of pain. Like you're like, oh,
Got it.
and then
Well,
it's gone. I mean it's just tickling because it's the back of your throat. It's your nasal cavity into your throat, so you can feel that little scrape. It's like a little pipe cleaner.
Yeah.
It's real thin, and the hairs on it are super thin. So it's just like brushing, and you can,
Yeah.
it's not, doesn't feel good, but it's not the worst pain I've had at the hospital.
Now I'm going to ask, what is the worst pain you had?
The one I can a couple of stitches, stitches in my lip here. And then when I was really young, I got strep throat real bad, and they had to administer penicillin to me when I was really young, and they administered it in my hip. And when they did that, that pain, whatever that, I mean, I was a young kid and they tried to send me home with painkillers. Me and my mom on painkillers because I couldn't walk because
Ah.
it hurt so bad. Because penicillin's so thick that when they put the needle in you and
Yeah,
they had to
it
give me a
hurts.
full thing, they had to do it real slow. So it just had to be there for a while too. At least with the COVID test, I don't even know how many seconds it's really in there. It's not that long, and then they just pull it out. But that was probably the worst.
Wow.
You're young. You still get to look forward to prostate exams.
I know. Actually, I should wait. Is it after 30 you're supposed to start getting the check?
50.
I think
I think it's
50.
after 40.
40,
Oh, was it 40? Okay. All right.
I had
Well,
a doctor who said I was like 39, and he's like, "You're kind of young, but I'd really like to." And I was like, "Yeah, since you put it that way, no."
I'd really
It's like I walked
to.
in and just like, yeah, that's exactly how I said it. And he was saying it because you're a fat piece of shit, and I think you're unhealthy, so let me check. But
Wow.
it just came off like I'm gonna be knuckle deep in this fat guy before he leaves, and I was like, "No, I'm good."
Knuckle deep. Damn.
Don't kink
Yeah.
shame him. Don't kink shame
Yeah.
him.
Oh, I don't. I'm disappointed if I don't get a finger in my ass at the doctor, but
Oh.
I didn't want it from someone that wants to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, any type of doctor, even when he goes to an herbalist,
Yeah.
he's like, you know,
Yeah.
it just
eye
Right,
doctor, dentist.
When we used to do
Yeah,
the
yeah, got it.
podcast in person, he'd be like, "Come on, do any of you want to do it? My wife won't. Come on, let's go, let's go."
Steve, come here.
yeah, do the come here.
What the fuck?
That's the move,
Nick?
man. The come here. That's what you do.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, maybe that's what's
I've
lacking
never-
in my life.
I don't know about that one fully.
Yeah, they're just weird shit.
No, it's
Weird
not. It's
shit.
not weird.
Not weird,
I know,
no.
but I get it. I just never experienced that.
Huh.
Well, I'm talking about doing the come here when you're fingering a chick, not come here when you're fingering your asshole.
Oh, okay.
Or
Yeah.
well, I was under the impression you were saying how a woman fingering her asshole
No.
and having her do the come here. That's what I thought Rob was saying. I thought
Well,
was
Rob,
saying, like, have his
Rob's
wife-
all for that shit.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah,
I thought of
yeah.
that.
Try to. Well, and also it's kind of clean. You know, it's clean. You kind of scrape out the stuff in there. Have her go in there. Get in there, miss.
Mm. Bring out that poo.
Ew.
They have
Stuck in
So
there.
gross. Yeah, now her nails. Now, and then now she has a reason to get a manicure.
Now that's love.
That's so sexist and dumb.
That's so
All right,
love.
low hanging fruit. I jumped up.
It is low hanging.
It's so low hanging.
So before we get into our special thing, I do want to talk about the stand-up NBC.
Oh, the slave auction. Well, when I did that, it was.
Ouch. Damn. Explain that. The slave auction.
Yeah, please tell me.
Let me just tell you why the slave auction, because they fucking put you. They put you on the stand for 60 seconds. You got 60 seconds to do comedy. Come now. I understand we're used to doing short sets, and I know that they have a lot of comedians, and I fully understand it. But when they come into that casting, they already have guidelines on what they're looking for. So I think that a lot of times there might be comics showing up there going like, I'm just the most creative. They haven't heard a joke until they've heard mine. And that's not what they're there for. They're not there for, you know what I mean? They're there for a look or a certain, whatever's going on at NBC focus groups currently that year. And goes, the Mexicans are trending. We got to get one in there.
That is true. That is true.
So that's why it's a bit of a, let me see your gums and let me look in your nose a little bit. Let me check your arms a little. You got the right shoe size. All right. Okay. Okay. We could get you in there.
So is this the last comic standing, or what is it? Or so it's called stand up?
It was actually, it's called Stand Up NBC for diversity.
Oh.
Yeah. It's supposed to be, but I mean, I don't even want to get into it.
You called it a slave auction. Come on now.
I did. And I participated. I went.
Yes,
I
you
mean,
did.
I went to this shit because I'm with all comics. And that's the thing, is that the hang with comics is the greatest.
Yeah.
I just know that it's not, I'm the type of guy that they write down in the notebook. Yeah, for sure not him.
So
That
he's
guy
not
just
big.
he just called us slave masters. That guy's not gonna be. Why would we want any of his creative input ever? This guy's a dick.
Oh, you did call me that?
I just said it outside of the thing while we were,
Okay.
we were talking about it with all the comics and like they have like how they have the stage-hand, the PA, like the PA girl with the little headset coming out there, the clipboard, like, hey guys, sign this, and I'm like, what's up everybody? We're here at the slave auction chilling.
Looking for the right choice here.
Yeah, she probably just crumbled my shit up, threw it in the garbage. But it was cool though. No, it was honestly, it's an experience. So like my first year doing I did a Last Comic Standing. I drove from San Jose. I was at the Improv and I saw a poster for Last Comic Standing and that they were doing like auditions, just go in the street or whatever. And I drove that night, overnight, all the way to LA, and we bought a tent at Target, me, my friend, and my cousin, and we just said we were like 9th in line, whatever. So it felt very similar to that. You just go in a room, there's no, at least for Stand Up NBC, there's a crowd, but the crowd is all the comics.
Oh,
So it's even more uncomfortable. It's just,
What do you mean? You don't like just performing for comedy?
Well, I not in an audition setting for NBC where basically they should have just told us again to stand there on the stage and spin around in a circle and smile, and then been like, nope. That's what they should have done.
I didn't know you did Last Comic Standing.
Well, I tried. Yeah, I went to.
Yeah, you tried out.
I just from the line. Yeah, and the only person who liked me, the only one who gave me the thumbs up, I remember the panel. And it was Greg Giraldo, Natasha Leggero, and Andy
Dick?
not Andy Dick, shorter balding guy with glasses, Andy with an R, I forget it. Fuck, I don't remember him, but
Not Andy
those
Andrews.
three. Yeah, well, and Greg Giraldo was the only one that went with me because they all told me that I should have talked about my last name. They were like, you didn't bring up your last name. It's so unique to you and your look, and it's And Greg was like, nah. He was like, he did a murder joke for his audition, and he was like, that was fucking funny too. And he was like, and he was the only one. He was like, and I like the fact that you look like you work here because I had like a black polo on. He was like, you look like you work here and shit. And they just brought you on because they didn't have enough people to fill it. He was like clowning me.
That's
it was
fucking
awesome.
That's
It
awesome.
was great.
Thumbs up from Greg as an award.
That was all I needed.
Yeah.
That was all I needed. I was like, oh, thanks. And I didn't know then that like the people who were really getting the auditions were the ones with managers that were coming at like, the next day at like 4 p.m. and they get like.
You know what? Good for you for fucking doing it though. For fucking trying. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't.
You gotta try it. You gotta try.
You said you were a year in when you did that?
I was a year in, yeah. I did the San Jose Improv, and then I just saw a poster, and I was with my boy, and he's like, I'm down to go with you right now. And I was like, I'll throw gas in your car right now. We'll go get a tent. And we'll go. It was over the weekend, or whatever. And we were like, let's just. Or no, it was a Thursday. I think it might have been a Thursday, and the auditions were a Friday. Yeah, because I think we got out to LA on like a Friday or something like that. And so, yeah, we just up and went. So fuck it, we'll go sit in line.
I mean, yeah, to get a thumbs up from Greg Giraldo a year in, that's fucking
right.
Yeah, he liked he thought it was funny, and he said he liked the approach that he was like he did a joke about murder for live TV. He cleaned it up.
What was the joke?
It was just a joke about late night, about how like late night infomercials are trying to sell you secretly, trying to sell like only sell to murderers. How like because nobody's awake at that hour, and so they go under the radar, and like they sell you weird shit like scissors that could cut through metal, and you're like, who needs those at that time,
Right.
So I did a whole joke about like how like the murderer buys the scissors and then he cuts the doorknob off, and then he walks in the house and stabs his family member, and then wipes the blood up with a ShamWow, and then OxyClean just
cuts off the hair with a Flowbee.
Yeah, exactly, like all this shit, and I did that, and that was my joke. And what's funny is I think about it now is these were probably all infomercials they ran on like in affiliated networks.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'm like, they're selling to murderers out here. That was my big joke. I was like, it's funny to me. I don't. And the other two were like, you should have talked about your last name. I was like, oh,
that's
right.
boring. No.
And I mean, and again, I'm not going to try to be rude, but who would you rather watch live out of those?
Yeah,
I'd rather watch Greg Giraldo. So
Greg Giraldo anytime.
Anytime.
So, did you take their advice, and do you have a joke about your last name now?
I never did. I think my defiant attitude since then was like, I'll never do one ever.
No.
But yeah, but recently I've been trying. Because I do talk about like my ethnicity a little more now. Because I didn't used to back then. And I don't even think you really should. Just to me, it's just funny because the time we're in. And I'm gonna step outside for a second. Okay. No, I thought that was here. I know, loud ass door. It's a true country house. Oh, here, I'll show you. Look when you go outside. Watch. This is true country life.
Oh my God.
Oh, damn. Yeah, man.
Whoa.
Is that a goat?
No. There's goats. There's goats over here. Hold on. Our neighbor, one neighbor. We only have one neighbor. Look, I'll show you. And he's got like a little pack of them. They should be right here. Oh, they're gone. Oh, the dog's right here, but
Well, don't get bit.
no. But this is straight country life out here.
Damn.
We are.
You guys don't
Way
even have
out
a
there.
paved fucking road. You guys have dirt fucking.
Yeah, this is all dirt driveway. It
Wow.
paved out there.
County highway.
Yep.
Got a county
Keeps
highway
you-
address.
I love it.
Route 33.
Once I realized you could live out in the country and not be in a town or a city, I was like, oh, I never want to go back to that. I love being secluded away from stuff.
All right. So we are going to close it in just a little bit before we do our big thing called Inside the Comic Studio.
Brilliant.
Hey, well, way to be
it's way
all
too high.
happy
No,
about that
cool.
shit.
Oh,
Brilliant.
Brilliant. Meh.
Before we get into it, though, Anthony, plug social media, plug if you have any Zoom shows or anything like that.
Yeah, so you can follow me on all social media platforms at Anthony K Comedy. Also, if you go to my website, anthonykcomedy.com, you can get the last special or the last thing I recorded at the Gallo Center in 2018. And you can donate and you can stream it to your TV and stuff like that. And then the last set I did like January 1st of this year at the San Francisco Punchline. It's like an 8-minute set. So you get that too. So yeah, go to anthonykcomedy.com. You can donate whatever amount of money you want, and then you can watch those too.
Nice. All right, Danny.
You can find me at Rad Chick Forever on Facebook, Instagram, Venmo, Cash App. Yeah, I have a lot of things coming up. They'll be on my Facebook. I have a show coming up. I've been on a couple of podcasts as a guest. And I am doing a comedy competition later on tonight through Zoom with a bunch of New York comics. So
Nice.
go to Facebook and find me.
All right, Sharon.
You can catch me on Iambic Poetry Podcast, and also I also do DJing. I DJ for the Pink Martini in Rockland. Our next show we're gonna have is on July 29th. Get tickets while they still can. That's Pink Martini.
All right, Rob.
I get my side project, Stand Up Dads Podcast. I do that with my buddy Mike. We talk about parenting crap, and we have a website now, stand-up-dads.com. Check it out.
All right, and then just follow me on Twitter at @TheBigNickJ. Okay, so Inside the Comic Studio is brought to you by Seattle Gummy Company. When you need to be alert and focus fast, Mocha Shots high energy gummies work 5 times faster than coffee at half the price. 100 milligrams of caffeine per gummy, which is 1 cup of coffee 5 times faster. No jittery side effects. Vitamin B complex boost performance. 5 grams of sugar per gummy. Yeah. Promo code GAG15 to save 15% off your entire order. Okay. So, for Inside the Comic Studio, we ask all comics that come on the same 5 questions. So, first question is first joke that landed well.
What that infomercial joke? That one. That was the first joke I ever told, and it worked. It was about murder items.
All right. Second thing is favorite thing about your local comedy scene.
Favorite thing about my local comedy scene. Ooh, this is tough. My favorite thing. Well, I have a lot of things I love. I mean, I definitely love the community, the diversity of thought, for sure. It definitely has like a punk rock attitude. So I'd say, I've never had to think about that before. I like the diversity of it.
All right. And then opposite of that, one thing you dislike and would like to see changes in your local scene.
Is more people respect stand-up.
All right.
Respect the stand-ups, like respect it as an art form. I mean, I kind of want to see that everywhere, but definitely here.
All right. Your
Checking.
favorite local comedian?
My favorite local. My favorite local. Local from Modesto or
Sacramento, Modesto, Stockton.
it's hard. Some of my favorites to watch. So okay, just one person.
Yes.
So normally when this question is asked, you're the number one answer typically. Anthony K's like across the boards normally.
Wow.
You can't say yourself, so pick someone else.
No,
up.
I would not. I definitely wouldn't say myself. I mean, I love to watch Saul. I love to watch Saul Trio.
Yes.
And I put him up there as one of my favorites easily. Let me see yeah, Saul for sure. Let's see. I mean, I don't want to keep saying more. Do you have to keep saying more? No, just one, right?
Nope, just one.
I'm just gonna go Saul.
All right. And then lastly, advice to new comedians.
Advice to new comedians. Know your value. Know your value. Understand.
Elaborate.
Be aware of your value. Because they're gonna, because they're not gonna. They're the community's not going to, or I shouldn't even say the community, but the game itself is not going to value because comedy is not a valued art.
I like that. I haven't heard that answer before. That's pretty good.
Know your value for sure because you got to be aware of it.
Nice. All right. Well, that is it. Thank you, Anthony, for coming on. This was great. This was hilarious.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, man. I'll come back anytime. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Take it easy.
I don't know. Bye, Rob. Bye, Strong.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Take care.